everybody, Fuego here in a Rapido Fuego review for a film that's relatively new still. It's been in theaters for I think about a week, maybe two, something of that nature. But yeah, I am talking about the Batfleck sequel, starring Ben Affleck, obviously, and Jon Bernthal, to their 2016 film, I believe it is, so like almost 10 years old, but a film entitled The Accountant. And so this is one that I was positive that I had seen it when it initially came out, and I was a little ho-hum on it. I threw it back on the other night, and I was like, nope, I definitely did not see this. I'm getting it confused with some other Affleck film where it was like him doing action-centric sort of stuff that came out, you know, I guess in the new millennium. I don't know. There's my fair share of them that come to mind. I know, like, I think Paycheck was one of them. Anyway, not to talk about those, but I watched the original Accountant, and that film kicks ass. Man, was it intense and really dark and brooding a lot of the time. I love the exploration of the condition. The action was awesome. Just the dynamic between, you know, Bernthal and Affleck and the cat and mouse sort of situation and everything. Well, then we come to this sequel all these years later, and we have a bunch of returning players. Obviously, I mentioned John. You know, we've got J.K. Simmons coming back. The woman who was under his arm, he helped get the promotion in that original film. She has a much bigger role in this one, and I gotta say, I was pretty underwhelmed, unfortunately, with this film, man. So I went in with relatively high expectations, and one of my biggest gripes is that I feel like, first and foremost, we have seen a ton of films that are exploring, you know, human trafficking and, you know, the issues down in Mexico. So that is our villainy in this, as opposed to, you know, Affleck's character of Wolf. He's not even an accountant really in this movie, despite the title. We have to have the title for reference, right? But no, the thing that gave the original so much charm was him working with the numbers and that utter obsessiveness and the major antisocialness. And so that stuff is still there, but his character seems a lot more adjusted at this point. And he also, with the revelation of the end of the first movie, you know his you know, kind of intertwinement with Bernthal and whatever, and so they explore that, but they bring in a lot more humor, and that's where the tone didn't necessarily work for me as much. The action is okay, but it really just did not feel as fresh and exciting and dark as the original one. Like, the character exploration of the original one was terrific, and I didn't feel like Ben Affleck was playing the character quite the same and quite as good in my estimation. So at the end of the day, it's not like an awful movie, but, you know, I'm not even going to chalk this up to the burden of expectation. This is a film that I was pretty underwhelmed by because it is vastly inferior to the original. And yeah, I gotta say, if you like the first one, wait till VOD or streaming.